So you can see how this all stacks up and adds up very quickly to give Clara a ton of aggro value. That way she can get attacked constantly. And the reason you want Clara to get attacked constantly is because then it will proc this. It'll proc her counter. She'll be able to deal a ton of damage off the counters. And she's kind of just going to murder anybody who stands in her way. To the point where it's to the level of extreme that Clara plus March alone can beat one side of floor 15. And I do mean fully beat it. Like, they can, just those two, don't need anybody else, just those two characters alone can go ahead and dominate Little Gepard here. Now, I'm going to fast forward this because this is going to take a minute, but you guys will see exactly what I mean in a second. Let's just put somebody here because we're not doing the second half of this, we're just doing the first half. You guys will get to see what I mean here in a second as I go ahead and fast forward it, because this is kind of silly. It takes a little bit, it takes a couple turns, but I'm going to explain at first the rotation, and then we're going to kick into the fast forward and explain to you guys exactly how this works. So we're going to want to draw aggro with Clara. We're going to want ahead and draw aggro to Clara, and the reason you would actually want to do this unironically for an Abyss or a Hall of Memory floor run is that way you don't have characters die, so you can actually complete the challenge of nobody going down. That might be a challenge you're trying to actively complete, but all you're going to do is put the shield on the child, shield the child, and now everyone's going to attack the child. And because they're going to attack the child is going to counter and do a ton of damage. And not to mention, she has an AoE, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to do a normal attack to get that skill point back. That way we can just keep this loop going forever. So let's go ahead, let's pop Clara's ult, and now here's where things get kind of silly, and this is why Clara, in my opinion, is one of the absolute best units in the game and totally broken, is because once you do this, right, and once her ult is active, we can just hit this because it doesn't matter, her ult makes it so her counter is now AoE, meaning the second she gets hit, or the second an ally gets hit, everyone gets hit. And you can see here, boop, 10k damage, a classic little 10k counter, and she can do that giga counter, that really big counter, about twice a turn is how often she can do it. She can do the big counter about twice a turn, and then other than that, she's just going to keep blasting, and this is basically how this whole fight's going to go now. At this point, this is all there is to it. We're just going to pop her ult on cooldown, and we're going to let them absolutely pop off while we just sit here and apply a good little old shield to Clara and keep her nice and shielded. So you can see how this is going to go now, and this is how the entire fight is going to end up being. Yeah, you can see she just counters like crazy, counters constantly. Go ahead, punch little Jeppy. And we're just going to keep doing this, but now that he called in buffs, we're going to go ahead, and now we're going to use what makes March really good. Because we're going to call this in, and we're going to break the barrier, and we're going to freeze. And that's one thing that makes March really, really good, is her ability to just freeze stuff. So now we can do something like this, and then we can finally use this big AoE that she has, because everybody has marks on them. 23k. Because of the way Clara works, Clara is very strong. You can build up marks on all the enemies, and once you cash those marks in, you can do a ton of damage. You can do a lot of damage with Clara by cashing in the marks. We're going to go ahead and shield herself here now, and we're going to just keep on pushing. And now it's probably where I'm going to start fast forwarding it, because I explained how the cycle works. Now we're just going to constantly cycle and just keep punching. And here we go. This is basically the end of the fight now. You guys can see that it very easily, they soloed it. Like, not even really a sweat. Clara is just really, really strong when paired with March, because March can designate the aggro onto Clara. And I even have 21 cycles left, although I just don't think Seele is going to solo Cocolia. Anyways, thank you guys all for watching. Hopefully this video gave you guys some insight as to why I run this specific team and why I think March is actually really good. I'm going to make a video dedicated to March here pretty soon because I think I am done with all the guides, so I'm going to start working towards character guides. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.